Going to talk about polynomials. And so I put some examples down here for you. Basically, a polynomial is made up of one, two, or more terms, and they're separated by a plus or a minus sign. Now, polynomials have specific names depending on how many terms they have. Monomial would have only one term, a binomial is two terms, and trinomial would be three terms. And I put some examples of each of these down here. So as you can see, one term or two terms or three terms that you see. Doesn't matter what the powers are on those with one term, two or three, or however many you have. The main thing is they're separated by a plus or minus sign. That's what tells you how many terms that there are. We also have the word degree. Degree would be the highest power that you see in any of these. And it is a case where you could have one with two different variables. And if you have a polynomial with two different variables, then the degree would be the sum of the powers. So we'll get to that a little bit later. What we're going to do for these problems is we're going to identify whether it's a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or neither. So if it is one of those first three, then we want to give its coefficient and degree. So this first one, we only have one term. And so this is going to be a monomial because it has one term. The coefficient is the number in front of the x with the highest power. In this case, that's going to be an 11. The highest power we see, or the only power we see here, is going to be 6. And so when you indicate the degree, you indicate it this way. You say degree 6. So technically, it would be a degree 6 monomial, and that would be the specific name for this particular one here. Now, the next one, we've got an x squared that's on the bottom of a fraction. So although it looks like it's going to be positive, in actuality, that's going to be a negative exponent. If you take this and you move it up to where we don't have a fraction anymore, if you move it across the division bar, the exponent becomes negative. Now, one thing about polynomials that we have here, it says that a polynomial can have only whole number exponents. So no negatives, no fractions, and no decimals. Okay. So it says no negatives here. So in this case, we have a negative exponent. So this is not a polynomial. Now, in order for it to be a monomial, binomial, or trinomial, it has to first be a polynomial because these three here are just a more specific type of polynomial. So in this case, because we have a negative power here, this is not a polynomial at all. So since it's not a polynomial, then we don't need to give the coefficient and degree. We only do that if it is a polynomial. So that's the end with that one. Let's do another one here. This one has a 6 as the power. Now there is a fraction, but the fraction is not part of the exponent. And so that's okay. So in this case, it's a monomial again, because there's only one term. Again, how you know there's one term? There's no plus or minus signs with something else after it. There's only one thing here. So that's why we say it's a monomial. And because the power is a whole number, it's one of the counting numbers, that's how we know, again, it's going to be a monomial there. The coefficient is the number in front of the x, so negative 1/4. And we're going to say, once again, this is a degree 6. So degree 6 monomial is what we have here. Now, the ones we've done so far only have one variable in it, but let's do these here. Now, these have two variables that are in it. So this is only going to come into play when we want to find the degree. Okay, but first, we notice that the powers on the x, that would be a one power that's there. Okay, so that's a 1 that would be here. So for this, it is considered to be a monomial because it only has one term. the coefficient is going to be -7. That's the number in front of the variable. For the degree, we need to add the two exponents together. So we have 1 and 2. So this is going to be a degree 3 monomial. So we just add the two exponents together. That's how you find a degree if you have more than one variable. Let's do another one of those. Okay, so this, we only have one term. So once again, this is going to be a monomial. The coefficient is going to be 10, the number in front of the variables. If you want to find the degree, then you have to add up the exponents. So 2 and 3 add together would be 5. So this is going to be a degree 5 monomial.